Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics Virtual Job Fair. Today, we will be hearing from 3 state agency employers hiring for positions across multiple industries. Each employer will speak for approximately 10 minutes to give you some information about their company and will highlight the job openings they currently have. After each employer has concluded their presentations, we will then be transitioning into small group discussions with those employers. Small group discussions will be held as one continuous session, and you will be able to move freely from room to room. Today's session is being recorded and will be made available on the Illinois workNet YouTube channel for you to refer to later. Now, a few things that I want to go ahead and note here before we begin. You'll see here, we do ask that you have the most recent version of Zoom Client for Meetings downloaded. If you've been asked to run an update or you just recently downloaded Zoom, you should be all set. But this is just something to keep in mind if for whatever reason you are encountering any difficulties joining the breakout rooms. Once we open those up, it could be again that you're running an outdated version of this download. So just be aware of that. If you do have to leave the session to download that, you can. We'll let you back in, of course. You'll see the link there, zoom.us/download. Again, only if you're having trouble joining a room, but that will be later again in our presentation here today. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and delve in right into our state agency presentations that we have here today. And I am pleased to introduce first Catherine with the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. Catherine, are you available to present?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us. My name's Catherine Hoffman, and as he said, I'm with the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. Next screen, please. And there are several government employment resources to check out the jobs on DCFS, the dcfsjobs.illinois.gov, illinois.jobs2web.com, and illinoisjoblink.com, and governmentjobs.com. The dcfsjobs.illinois.gov is the fastest way to find posted DCFS vacancies. The illinois.jobs2web.com is the main job posting site for most Illinois state agencies. Next screen, please. Current career opportunities with the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. We have several of them. There are currently 56 vacancies today, and a lot of them are child welfare specialists, child protection specialists. We do have reimbursement officers, and we have clerical office associates and office assistants. And we do have human resource representative employment recruiters. And we have social service program planners. And executive secretaries. And the next step would be to, after you create a account, and that will enable you to, next screen please. That will enable you to create a resume and upload other documents. And when you're creating the resume, be sure to include months and years and be detailed in your duties, and provide information for each change in title, military ranks, and include volunteer work and internships. And when you create your cover letter, be sure to include contact email, phone number, and mailing address, and other supporting documents such as official transcripts, professional licenses, certificates if you're a veteran, the DD-214. Next screen, please. If you go to the DCFS jobs site, this is where you're going to find the postings. And you just click on the title and that will open up the posting for you to be able to read and see if it's actually something that you're interested in. Next screen, please. And within the posting, if you're interested in applying for that position, there will be the apply button and you will click on the apply button and then you will just follow the prompts to apply for the position that you're interested in. Next screen, please. And then what's next after that? Those selected for interview will receive an email inviting them to schedule their own slot online through the Success Factors program. You need to be sure and record the date and time of that interview. And it's good to schedule that interview as soon as possible because slots will fill up quickly. Next slide, please. Reasons why you may not have been contacted for an interview. There are many positions that are covered by collective bargaining rights. If someone has more seniority, then they'll be offered the position before anyone else. And also keep in mind to keep applying for vacancies to increase your chances. Don't just apply for one and then wait. If you see 2 or 3 you're interested in, apply for all of them. Next screen, please. We do a structured interview. So we will start off the interview with a statement of rules. All the candidates get the same questions in the same order. We cannot reword or expand upon a question. However, questions can be repeated. And grading is done based on a set rubric. And the next screen, please. Some sample interview questions and answers. What is your degree and how does it apply to this position? Answer 1, I have a degree in business. Answer 2, I have a bachelor's degree in business administration. When I was studying for my degree, I took several computer courses. So I am very comfortable with computers and Microsoft also. Also, my administration courses taught me effective time management and office procedures. Answer number 2 would be the best answer for this question because answer number 1 didn't answer the question fully. Next screen, please. Another sample question is give an example of when you have had to deal with difficult customer. Answer 1 does not give an example and answer 2 does not give an example. The best answer is 3. As a cashier, I have had to deal with some difficult or unhappy customers. I feel that the best way to handle that situation is to listen patiently, try to resolve their problem and ask a supervisor or coworker for assistance if needed. You need to answer the question fully to get credit for your answer during the interview. Next screen, please. Some helpful interview tips. Ensure connectivity and signal strength in advance. You'll need a working camera and microphone. Check your background. Avoid distractions or ensure that you won't be disturbed. Listen carefully, answer completely, dress for success, and ask us to repeat the question if necessary. Next screen, please. After that will be the job offer. That will include background check, valid driver's license, and proof of insurance, employment and education verification. Also, any language testing if the position that you're applying for is Spanish speaking. license or certificates such as certified public accountant, training and probationary period. Next screen, please. State of Illinois benefits, vacation days, personal days, sick days, holidays, retirement savings plan, pension, health insurance, life insurance, dental insurance, eye coverage. And there's probably more that I haven't even touched on yet. Next screen, please. If you have a QR reader app on your phone, you can use the QR reader and this will take you straight to DCFS positions. Next screen, please. If you're interested in career counseling, you can complete a resume and attach it to an email and send it to cms.counseling by email at illinois.gov. In the subject line, enter virtual counseling request or counseling by email request. Be sure to indicate your employment preferences, geographic preferences, and salary requirements in the body of the email. Next screen, please. If you have any further questions, you can contact DCFS recruiters at dcfs.employment@illinois.gov. Again, you can check out the Illinois job postings at dcfsjobs.illinois.gov. And the child abuse and hotline number is 1-800-25-ABUSE. I believe that's the last slide. And I just want to say thank you for listening to my presentation and good luck in your employment endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And again, for the folks that just jumped on, we will be holding a breakout room session after our presentations here. So please plan to stick around and reserve the questions that you do have for that time. You'll be able, again, to go room to room and meet with all the recruiters that we have on the line here. So plan to stick around. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Thank you.
Our next presenter today, I do believe, will be Jody with CMS. Jody, are you available to present?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
I can, loud and clear. You can begin whenever you're ready, ma'am.
All right. So our CMS is, consider us the human resources of the state of Illinois. We support 80 agencies, boards, and commissions. If you want to go to the next slide, please. We are going to talk briefly on what Catherine just gave you, a big presentation on how to apply. So we're going to be saying a lot of the same things that she did. But again, just consider us the big human resources of the state of Illinois, encompassing all agencies and the hiring process. All right, can we go to the next slide? So as she already mentioned, we are have the job posting website at illinois.jobs2web.com. You can also get to the same place at work.illinois.gov. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create that profile and have a resume and transcript ready if that's applicable to your job. So you are going to find that posting that you are interested in. You are going to click that apply button that you saw. And from there, you're going to answer a bunch of questions related to the posting itself. So each posting that you see is going to be different, have different questions. Piggybacking on what Catherine stated, you're going to want to answer in the most specific way possible. 1- and 2-word answers are not going to work. You're going to want to sell yourself at this point. Also reiterating, the resume for the state of Illinois should be specific. You're going to want to be detailed and indicate all your duties and functions of your current and former positions, stating and using her example that you were a cashier. You know, there's always more encompassing with the job. If you had supervisory duties, and other skill sets. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Going back to that last slide, we put up there the CMS 100 application. Please disregard that. The CMS 100 has gone away with the state of Illinois. There is no paper application anymore. Everything is done online. Thank you. Okay, next slide. So once you've applied for a position and you've followed all the instructions, we at CMS are going to determine eligibility. We're going to determine that based on the questions that you have to answer for each posting and your resume. If the position requires a test where you come into a testing center with the state, CMS Assessment Center will contact you by email to invite you in for that testing. Please keep in mind, there are only a handful of positions that require testing at this point. So things within the state have changed where you do not have to necessarily take a test any longer. Next slide. This is just giving you briefly what types of positions and agencies that we have throughout the state. You can look up positions via the type of position like you see here, by agency or by your location. So for example, if you are a registered nurse, then you can go into the health services. If you are looking in the social services because you have your bachelor's or master's in social services, then you can just click on that. Or you can go by agency, like DCFS or Department of Human Services. Next slide. This was also touched on at the last presentation, so I won't go into this too much, but just know that the state of Illinois benefits are pretty good. So sick days, you get 12 sick days per year. They do carry over. Vacation days range from 2 weeks up to 25 days. You get 3 personal days per year, along with various other benefits. Next slide. This is just a recapping of the application process where you start with creating your profile on our careers website. Once you have applied, you will get an alert stating that we've received your online application. If within those answers that you've given, you do not meet the minimum qualifications, you'll receive an email stating that as well. All right, the next slide, please. Career counseling. This was a pretty big benefit that the state of Illinois does offer to candidates internally or externally. CMS counseling by email at illinois.gov. You'll meet with either virtually or by email really for counseling. That is what Jill and I do here, as well as testing. So we'll counsel you with the types of positions that are available, something that you might qualify for based on the resume that you've provided. And also we'll answer questions on creating your profile if you have any questions about that. So keep that CMS counseling by email at illinois.gov handy if in case you would like to talk with us. Next slide. This is more information about reasonable accommodations, disclosure of salary where we are not asking for salary, and sponsorship for employment where the state of Illinois does not provide sponsorship for employment visa status. So that is just something to note before applying with the state of Illinois. The next slide, please. I know these are very small and I apologize for that, but these are some, I guess, handouts that people that are at the state fair are being given at this point. Just some more information about what the state of Illinois has to offer you for employment. And next slide. Please keep in mind that We have other benefits for veterans, disabled workers training program. And if that affects you, then you can read more about that in those handouts provided. Will those, Daniel, will those handouts be available to our people, the participants today?
Hi, Jody. Yes, that's correct. So after we hop off the call here today, we will be sending these slides and presentation materials on to the folks that registered for the event. So just an FYI.
Thank you so much. And that concludes CMS's presentation.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jody. And I do see we had a few new folks hop on. Just an FYI. We are going to have breakout rooms for you once we get through our final presentation, which will be up next. Once we get through that presentation, we'll just do a brief breakout rooms overview so you folks are aware as to how to join a breakout room, how to navigate between them, and then of course we'll open those up and you'll be able to ask any questions that you have directly to the folks you hear presenting today. Thank you so much, Jody. Our next presenter and final presenter, I do believe, will be Phyllis with the Illinois Department of Revenue. Phyllis, are you available to present?
Yes, I'm available, but I do have a quick question, Daniel, because I know Julie sent you a master slide. Were you able to cut down on some of those slides, considering it's 10 minutes?
I did not, unfortunately. I just have the stock presentation, but feel free to move through these as quickly as you'd like.
Okay, there may be some I'll have you skip. Okay.
Okay, yep, just let me know.
All right. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for participating in the virtual career fair. As Daniel stated, my name is Phyllis Tate. I'm the Equal Employment Opportunity Officer with the Department of Revenue. And I just want to say in this session, I'm just going to discuss some of the benefits of a career in state government, the careers we have at Revenue, the current and upcoming job opportunities with the department. But I'll begin with giving you a brief idea of as to what Revenue does. Next slide, please. So IDRI has been serving Illinois taxpayers since 1927 when the gasoline tax was enacted. We now administer over 80 different taxes. And so our mission is quite simple, and that's basically to administer Illinois tax laws and collect tax revenues in a fair, consistent, and efficient manner for Illinois taxpayers, and to provide accurate, timely, and reliable funding and information to state and local constituents. Next slide. We're a very stable state agency, again, administering over 80 different taxes with 1,400 employees who process more than 13 million in tax returns and deposits for more than 60 billion annually. Next slide, please. We do have 6 locations. Our different office, our hub or central office is in Springfield, that's in Sangamon County. We have a location in Des Plaines, that's in Cook County, as well as Chicago is also Cook County, Rockford in Winnebago County, Fairview Heights, and that's in St. Clair County, as well as Marion, Illinois, and that's in Williams County. Next slide, please. I know, Catherine and Jody have discussed the benefits of working for Illinois. And so we just wanted to reinforce that, saying that, there's flexibility here. You have a 37.5-hour work week, Monday through Friday work schedule, 25 paid holidays, up to 25 paid holidays, or days off, and 13 paid holidays, I apologize. And of course, the rollover of vacation and sick time. We also at Revenue provide flexible work schedules. So there may be a modification of a work schedule where you may choose to work Monday through Thursday with flexible reporting times of, start and end times, or you may choose to work, an alternate work schedule where you're working remotely a couple of days out of the week and you're in office a couple of days out of the week. So we do provide flexibility. Again, CMS, we're under their organization, so their benefits is covered by all of the agencies, and we provide good health, vision, and dental insurance. There's no waiting period, so as soon as you become employed, your benefits start from day one. life insurance, medical assistance program, health savings account, dependent care assistance program, flexible spending accounts. So in case you had, a child that you want to save up with, some type of braces or whatever the expenses may be. That's another way to kind of allocate some funds. Commuter savings program. So you may be able to get on a route or save money through, different transit systems, whether that's Amtrak's or other commuting systems. And then we do have this nice initiative, Be Well Illinois, which provides a lot of health and wellness support for an employees. Next slide, please. Oh, thank you. Again, when it comes to financial wellness, we are, our employees are eligible for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. We do provide tuition reimbursement. There's a certain dollar amount up to a certain number of credits for the semester. You earn retirement. There's a deferred compensation as well as a college savings plan. Next slide, please. So when it comes to professional, okay, I was gonna say that I go a little further, there we go. When it comes to professional development, there's career potential. So there's, through our revenue tax specialist programs, there's different levels where there's upward mobility. So you can automatically move forward at the next level after a certain period of time working in the previous classification. We do have our own learning and development division. So we offer on-site training. We also offer it virtually as well. We have through CMS, a CMS University, and then the free college program, as well as bilingual skills pay. So with the bilingual skills pay is pretty much a 5% difference as to the starting rate of someone who does not possess bilingual skills. So that's a little incentive for someone who's coming in with additional language skills. Next slide, please. And then, of course, this is just a synopsis of additional voluntary benefits that's out there that we provide. And so if you have questions about these, we can go over them during the breakout sessions. Next slide. And of course, they already spoke about the services and programs CMS offers, such as the career counseling. I would just like to emphasize that career counseling is a good approach, especially if you're undecisive as to where you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years. It's good to go and get that support, let them evaluate your education experience and kind of match you with some type of positions that will basically get your foot in the door and get you moving in the right direction towards having a stable career trajectory. Next slide, thank you. So if you specifically want to work at IDR, you should go to our webpage. So that's tax.illinois.gov. And here you'll find us under the About Us tab, and there's a Career Opportunities tab. Next slide, and I think this will be the last slide that I'll discuss. But when you get to that opportunities or the career tab, it will tell you about our job posting. There's a link there for specific postings that's specific to our department. You can sign up for job alerts. It tells you, give you more information about working for IDOR, as well as, the resources for living in the capital city. It still covers the employment benefits. We have frequently hired positions or that's at IDOR that's also listed there. It takes you to the application process. It gives you information on veterans outreach programs, as well as upcoming outreach events. And you also have the ability to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, watch some of our YouTube welcoming videos, which is nice in case you want to get to know the area. We have information out there on YouTube, as well as LinkedIn information. Okay, and I hope I didn't go too fast, but I want to take up too much time. And so
thank you so much. Thank you so much for that presentation, Phyllis. And just a kind of a reminder to the folks that might have joined. I see we have a few additional folks on the line here. If you do have any questions for our presenters today, we are going to actually real shortly here jump into breakout rooms. You'll have an opportunity again to join those rooms, ask any questions that you might have that either were answered, you might need more clarification on, or maybe they weren't asked at all. So feel free to, again, join those rooms and ask the presenters that we had on the line the questions that you do have. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and skip to our session here. One moment, please. All right. And again, we're just going to have a real brief overview here as to just again, a few of the best practices, if you will, to keep in mind when trying to navigate the breakout rooms. Again, this message might be familiar to you folks if you were here at the beginning, but nevertheless, we'll go ahead and cover it for the ones that might have joined a little bit late. So again, if you recently downloaded Zoom or you stay on top of the most recent add-ons or software that are available, you should be all set here. But just one thing we want to keep in mind, if for whatever reason you're having issues joining a breakout room, it could be you're running an outdated version of this download that you see here. If for whatever reason you need to hop off the session to download that, navigate back to that, my apologies. You can absolutely do so. We'll make sure to let you back in the session if need be. Again, zoom.us/download is the link here that you see on the screen. You'll navigate to that. And I think it's the first or second item there available for download if you need to. A couple of instructions here that we want to walk you all through just so you're comfortable with the process. You'll see the first screenshot there is a screenshot of the Zoom toolbar. If you're joining via laptop or desktop, you should see something similar when you move your mouse or your cursor. You should see that toolbar pop up. When I open the breakout rooms, there will be an icon off to the right-hand side that you'll see, similar to the one outlined in the red square here. To join a breakout room, all you'll do is click that icon. It'll open up a window, which you'll see in our second screenshot here. There'll be a complete listing of all the agencies we have on the line today. In this case, we have 3, of course. And then off to the right-hand side there, circled in red, you'll see a join button or tab. All you'll do is click on that join tab and it will redirect you to the room of your choosing. How to move between rooms, all you'll do is rinse and repeat that same process. So what I mean by that is you'll go ahead and you'll click that icon again in your toolbar. It'll open up that window again, and then you'll click join for the next employer that you want to meet with. And again, you'll just continue to do that. Given that we do have 3 agencies on the line today, we do highly encourage you to meet with all 3 of those agencies and ask any questions that you might have. Even if you've got one in mind, there might be another agency that has job opportunities that might fit interests, that are obviously similar to you or interesting to you. So don't count or rule out any of the agencies we have on the line. Again, here, just a few bullet points to mention to you. Again, each presenter here today will be assigned to their designated breakout room. We will not have a member of the planning team, unfortunately, for troubleshooting purposes. But again, if any issues arise, feel free to hop back into the main session here, and I'd be more than happy to give you any sort of guidance or information that you'll need. Again, our session here today will be pretty fluid. I'll set it to 50 minutes to start. If we see that we still have a significant amount of you folks on the session, I'll go ahead and increase that limit, but we'll go ahead and set it to 50 minutes. So feel free to take your time asking questions of the folks we have on the line here today. And again, just another point to emphasize, you will be able to move freely throughout all the rooms, and you'll be able to unmute yourself and turn your camera on if you wish once you enter your room. Final point here before we open them up, just a few ground rules. Again, please just be mindful of the time that you're taking in the rooms. Once you've asked your question, you received your response, please, put yourself back on mute, turn your camera off, allow other folks to have the opportunity to ask questions as well, and just keep things respectful and professional, and there won't be any issues. Again, if you do, for whatever reason, opt to not abide by those rules, we do have the option to place you permanently on mute if need be. You will be issued a verbal warning first. Last point here, again, if you continue to cause further disruption through the chat once you've been placed on mute, we will have the ability to eject you from the session if need be. Again, you will not be permitted re-entry. Don't anticipate any issues. Again, just be mindful and you should be all set. So I'm going to put these instructions back up on the screen here and get ready to open up our rooms. Give me just one moment here. And again, I'm going to set this to 50 minutes for you folks, so feel free to take your time. One thing to note, in the upper right-hand corner, when we open up these rooms, there'll be a countdown timer. It'll let you know how much time is left in the entire session. So just keep an eye on that clock. And then once we get to the last minute of that session, there will be a 60-second countdown timer. The reason why, of course, we incorporate that is to make sure that if you're in the middle of a conversation with any of our reps on the line, it'll give you an opportunity to wrap things up before the room closes and we're redirected back to the main room here. Once we're redirected back, we'll give it just a brief closeout, let you know what the next steps are, and then we'll end the session. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and open up these rooms. If you're having any trouble joining a room, feel free to message me in the chat. Let me know who you want to meet with, and I can also manually send you to a room as well. I do see a message here in the chat from Joanna. Yes, we are recording the session. We will be making it available, on Illinois WorkNet YouTube channel under the virtual job fairs playlist within 48 hours of the conclusion of this event. Of course, happy to help however I can. Again, folks, if you're running into issues joining a room, just throw who it is you'd like to meet with in the chat and I'll get you sent there. We do have the Illinois Department of Revenue on the line, Department of Central Management Services on the line, and the Department of Children and Family Services on the line. And we're going to open up those rooms in 3, 2, 1, and they should be opened up, available for you to join. And I'm seeing folks starting to join, so that is good. Again, if you're having issues, just message me in the chat and I'll get you sent to where you need to go. Okay, welcome back, everyone. I think we have everybody back in from the breakout room. So again, uh, just like to thank everybody, of course, for joining today. I want to give a huge shout out to our state agency presenters today. So thank you to the folks at IDOR, at DCFS and CMS, of course. And thank you, of course, to all the job seekers as well that joined us today. We hope that this session, of course, was a fruitful one for you, and hopefully maybe will land you your next career or job opportunity, and or provide you with some more information and insight into the state's application and hiring process. Aside from that, just a few housekeeping things to note. We have recorded the session, and again, as I stated earlier, we will be uploading it to the Illinois workNet YouTube channel within 48 hours. And additionally, I also have the registration report from all the folks that did register for this event. And so if you are a state agency presenter, just an FYI, I will be sending that information over to you probably first thing Monday as well. So you will have the registration form of all the folks that did register. Aside from that, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a fantastic weekend. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.